shut the back door. And that's where Arsenal, why they've been at the top of the league for so long, because it's been so hard until recently to score a goal against them. So players can go off and know that behind them they're so good that they don't concede a goal. And at the moment, that's just wavered slightly, and certainly particularly against Wolves. So the back four, particularly the goalkeeper, need to keep a brave, clean sheet and continue to stop that resilience on not conceding a goal, and that will give obviously the more productive players the opportunity to do more creativity.
Yeah. After the game, Arteta said, we need to take the bullet because performance wasn't good enough. But he did seem fairly relaxed. But big game coming up on Sunday. Is the North London derby the game that they need to bounce back?
Well, I think the difficulty is him not being able to plan against the opposition, because he has no idea how the new coach at Tottenham's going to play. He hasn't got a clue, unless he's sent a spy out. You know what I mean? Which we've heard before. Yeah, Mr. Bielsa, was it? Well, at Leeds, sending out spies to see what the opposition are doing. So he will have no idea how Tottenham are going to line up, or who is going to, and what position Tottenham are going to play, or how they're going to play. So that's a bit of a, if anything, a little bit of a bonus for Tottenham, because it could catch Arsenal by surprise. But the hype in the game and the fact the intenseness of the game will be really, really high, and whoever masters that the most will be the one that comes out on top. So Tottenham, probably before this, would have been written off a lot more than they probably will do.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a tough game for Arsenal this week?
Yeah, but I still think Arsenal will win. I do.
We mentioned some good news for Arsenal today in that Bukayo Saka signing a new long-term contract. We understand this is a 6-year deal. Let's take a look at... Oh, what a video. That's no exaggeration either. He is so loved, and he is just such a likeable character, isn't he, by all football fans?
Well, and more importantly, it's one of their own, from a kid all the way through to the first team, innit? And such a talent, not only for Arsenal, but for England now. And the good thing is, no fuss, no outrage, no I want to leave, no, it's not enough. Contract done and dusted behind the scenes, 6 years. Is it 6 years?
Yeah.
6-year contracts, committing probably the whole of his career to Arsenal until, perhaps that either come to the conclusion, or one to the other, that, his time is up. All our time comes up some stage, but to get a 6-year contract now means that he'll have spent probably, or he's going to spend nearly the whole of his football career at Arsenal.
How big a boost is this for the club, for the fans?
Well, massive boost because of his talent, and the fact that they can love him so much because he's, one of their own. They all have big stars that come from abroad, but there's nothing like a football fan that comes to Arsenal or wherever it might be and see one that's grown up as a youngster through the academy, who loves the club and who breaks into the first team, dream come true, and everybody to celebrate.
Top player. Is he world class for you? Wayne Rooney says he isn't.
Well, the defining moment of world class means you have to win the Premier League, then you will have to win the Champions League, and then you'll have to succeed in the World Cup if you can. Now, I had Yuri Yorkaev, Fernando Hierro from Spain, and Yorkaev, both of them world class because they'd done that. They did, particularly Yuri. So, if you're going to be classed as world class, top class player, absolutely, but world class, not quite yet.
Do you think that it gets bandied around a lot, that phrase?
Well, Arsenal could go very close to the Champions League this year. They finished top of the league anyway, didn't they? So they've got a big boost in that. Never mind talking about the wobble of the Premier League. They could actually win the Champions League and the Premier League.
Do you think they've got enough goals in their front line to win?
Well, they have 3 option strikers. No other club has that now. And goals come from other places like Saka, and so they've got a number, and they've got the massive set play goals. I mean, you know, I think he's broke my record, Michelle, on the amount of goals they've scored, because we were about 38%. Like, I think Arsenal are even higher than that at the goals from set play. So massive bonus. So I think enough goals, yes, and I think that the goal difference between them and Man City is better for Arsenal, if I think.
We've got a big set-piece chat coming up, don't you worry about that. So look, Tottenham next for Arsenal in North London derby. Before we talk Spurs, I want to cast your mind back to 2003. We mentioned it earlier, like then Arsenal were going for the title. They took on your Bolton team. They were fighting relegation at the time, weren't they? Much like the game against Wolves last night, they went 2-0 up before you went and spoilt it all. Here it is then. Memories of this game?
Well, I thought we were dead and buried, obviously, at this stage. We also had a man sent off as well, by the way, so it was a miraculous comeback that we made to get 2-2. But I think the distinctive thing about this was we had this guy called JJ Okocha, and I think when we got to 2-2, he was playing the game out in the corner when he flipped the ball over his head, flipped the ball over Ray Parler's head, if I remember rightly. But 2-2 was absolutely magnificent for us, and I think this is it here.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. Watch. This is how cheeky this man was. He's a cheeky devil. Look at that. The whole crowd went wild.
Can you remember what you were thinking at that very moment when you saw that?
I was thinking he's doing it in the right place. He's doing it at the right end of the airfield and trying to see the game out. Like, I mean, Arsene Wenger was that frustrated. He threw his tie on the floor, because we all used to wear ties in those days and suits. We don't wear tracksuits like they do now. And he's ripped his tie off and threw it on the floor, because I think it, like I said, it cost him the title. Did
you ever imagine that to happen going into that game?
No. I got a big thank you from Alex Ferguson the day after. No doubt about that. But, you know, we were, you know, going into the game to just, you know, continue our pretty good form against Arsenal then. You know, we used to cause them some problems then. And again, the importance of set plays again. Got to get us a draw, like, I mean, you know, we were really, really good in those areas in my time, like Arsenal are now.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, that put that game there, that draw, Bolton and Arsenal, put that game and the title into Manchester United's hands. Now it's the same situation, but with Manchester City. Have Arsenal blown it?
Yeah, I mean, they've still got, 3 points? They're still 3 points ahead, and I think that it does ramp up the pressure. And of course, when you ramp up the pressure, it's not about your coach, in my opinion. It's only my opinion. It's not about the coaching. It's about understanding which player's more capable of playing in the derby and producing the right performance to win. The one that there's players who can rise to the occasion, and sometimes you look at a player, maybe he's a little bit more frail mentally than that particular player. And skill-wise, this player might be better, but it might be better playing that one for the right effect in that particular game.
And how do you, as a manager, help those who may not be quite there, maybe a bit more frail?
Well, we have many factors in terms of our sports psychology and sports psychologists who they would privately do sessions with. We would never be allowed to, or he would never be allowed to tell us what they were talking about, because it breaks the complete confidence, not only of the player, but it breaks the rules and regulations of a clinical and sports psychologist. Unless the player allows you to express what you've said, so they would go and with their confidence, and we would hope that the guys they would speak to would let them overcome those fears or anxieties, which they did exceptionally well in our time there. That's why the whole package is needed today, behind the scenes, to cover every aspect of a footballer's well-being, physically and mentally, to deliver on the field week in and week out.
Yeah, absolutely. Fascinating stuff. Right, OK, look, we've looked